Marathon Talk is back for 2025. We're back.
Did you know that we have faster, more reliable care person?
So, on the way to Vauxhall, we're going to meet the guys. We're going to go to an exhibition. Please excuse the footage. Please excuse the quality. I'm broke, so I'm using my cheap Android phone. If you guys want to donate or send me some kind of new equipment, to continue promoting men's health, feel free, contact me. But until then, I'm using what I've got to try and document and share mental health. Right, time to get a train and get us to the guys for the first Men Walk the Talk for 2025. Let's get there before I get told off. I'm late. I'm always running late. White Rabbit, always late. So we've come to the end of our men's walk and talk for the first session for 2025, and it was quite interesting that we looked at the 80s exhibition. I mean, I'm not British, you know. I grew up in the West Indies, so for these guys it was different. You know, looking back at their experiences growing up in the 80s, some guys who actually grew up in the 90s, but for them it's like what they heard from their parents or their grandparents. For me, I mean, there was one part of the exhibition that kind of tried to explain the British colonies, that those who were under British rule. I mean, I'm from Trinidad, and Trinidad was under the British rule, and we got our independence. And when I was born in Trinidad, I grew up with our independence. I had no experience what it was like being under the British rule, but we still had links to Britain. We didn't need a visa to go to Britain. You know, you just jump on a plane, reach an airport, you get a stamp. If I'm in any other country doesn't have a Trinidad embassy, automatically I go to a British embassy. But there's a part of the exhibition that states that any colony, country, wherever, under the British rule, were expected to be subjects, expected to behave in a certain way that fits the being British. I don't know. But I remember that, you know, not just my grandparents, but the older generation that I was growing up was very, very British, very stiff upper lip. The traditions was very British. You know, my grandma had afternoon tea. You know, that was important. And I think for a hot country in the evening, I do not want to have tea, but yes, we had afternoon tea. We had cakes. And that's the way they were. They were very, very British, and they expected us to be the same. I mean, I spoke Trinidadian dialect, you know, broken English, which was very frowned on, especially wrong with my grandmother, both grandparents actually. But you know, you were supposed to speak the Queen's English, or at least try and speak proper English. You know. You don't come into the house and speak in such a manner that is not befitting of a middle-class young man. But I didn't care. I was a black sheep. But yeah, it was quite interesting. There was a lot of uncomfortableness. Is that the right word? Uncomfortableness. As we looked at the exhibition especially around the black experience. You know, as we spoke openly, I know I witnessed some people who, not of color, kind of got uncomfortable with our conversations. We spoke about being black and being gay, about sometimes we feel that when it comes to protests, there's a difference when a white man protests or a black man protests in society. That sometimes for change, we need a white person to be an advocate for us. And I'm telling you, a lot of white people around us got very uncomfortable. And I remember one guy rolled his eyes up when I spoke about racism, in gay community. What I've witnessed in our group, with men who are straight versus the LGBT community, how they play us against each other, using that as a weapon to try and separate us. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's just that it was strange that when two of our guys, one who's black and one who's white, were having the same kind of conversations, the people around them was more open. People of white color were more open to listen and engage in conversations. But when those two black people talking about the same thing, they felt uncomfortable. Anyway, right, so we see you guys for the next Man Walk and Talk. This was the first one for the year. Last year we did about 42 walks to exhibitions and operas and theatre plays and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2025. And like I said, I'm a Brock man. Maybe I should change the channel to Brock channel. I use what I have. This is not a platform to make money. It's a bring awareness to men's mental health, overall health as well. And yeah, I'm saying if anybody wants to hand me any equipment for me to use to continue doing this, I don't mind. I use what I've got and I try my best. That's what I can do. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. And if you guys are interested in Men Walk and Talk, the link is below. Just contact us. Say that you want to come and part of this experience, and you're more than welcome. You don't have to commit. It's an open door policy, and you don't have to be of color. It's not a black man, group. It is men's walk and talk. The only criteria is you have to be male and an adult. That's it. That's all. You don't even have to be living in London. We've got members who live in Canada. We've got members who live in the States, members who live in the West Indies. And when they come over on to visit on holidays, they will come to the Men Walk and Talk. We've got people in Isle of Wight, I'm not sure. We've got people in Birmingham, Liverpool, all over. Doesn't matter. We've got one guy who lives in Jamaica, here, and the States. And when he's here, he comes over. So yeah, the only criteria is you need to be a male, an adult, and that's it. So see you guys in the next one.